Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a perfume talk video. This is a video that I've already done one other perfume talk video. It's just kind of a chatty video where I talk about different things in the perfume world. Today I'm going to be going over Perfume Burnout. I'm going to be talking about 3 recent blind buys that were disappointing, and then I'm also going to be going over a few more new releases. So I'll have timestamps below so that if you just want to get into one part of the video, but it's a little bit more on the chatty side. So if you want to grab a snack, grab a coffee, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so first up, I'm gonna talk about this really quick. I know it's not perfume related, but I know sometimes you guys talk about different eyeshadows or makeup I'm wearing. So today I'm actually not wearing makeup, I'm wearing SPF as makeup. So if I look a little blotchy, I do have dark spots. I do have some spots living here in Florida. I wasn't kind to my skin in my early years. I would say about 5 or 6 years ago is when I really started being a little bit better about SPF, and I would actually say the last 2 years is where I've even gotten more on top of SPF. So I'm wearing my Elta MD UV Daily. This is non-tinted. And then I'm wearing the Drmtlgy Luminous Eye Corrector. So this is some of the color that I have. And then a little bit of this goes a long way, but I'm wearing Nudestix SPF 30. This is a blush and lip tint. I got 3 of the different shades. This one's called Sunset Rose. And then I did top it all up with this hydrating glow mist. This is the Naked Sundays SPF 50. So if I look a little glowy or a little bright, that's why I'm wearing SPF as makeup. Okay, so first up, we're gonna talk about Perfume Burnout. So I'm refilming this segment, which is my Perfume Burnout segment, because I went off on several different tangents and it wasn't making any sense. As of this past year, I have been getting more into travels and samples. What you guys don't see are a lot of the samples I've gotten into that haven't worked out. I got an entire kit from Commodity I purchased myself. I got the Clean H2O line, a little one, and a rollerball set, which I still have to give that one a fair shot, but the first 2 I tried I didn't like. I got the Charlotte Tilbury fragrances. There were a lot of them that I didn't like. I got Noteworthy. I got into those perfumes. And while I still need to really get through them, there's just a lot of the same. And then when it is more on the niche or indie side, I think they're beautiful, but nothing I want to wear. So I think I've gotten to the point where I've smelled a lot, I've bought a lot, I have a lot, and I don't know what else to talk about. So I've been having this kind of block, this creative block of what can I talk about that is different, because I find the videos to be a little bit repetitive and a little bit boring, as well as a lot of what I'm smelling and testing I either don't like or I've smelled it before. So that's gonna get me into the 3 recent blind buys that I did, that I'm not only disappointed in, but I'm disappointed in myself for blind buying these. I really should have gotten the travel one. I'm not super disappointed because it's inexpensive and I can't test this out, but we'll start with that one. This is from the Duo brand, Caramel Apple on a Stick. And this is supposed to be their own creation. They're basically an inspiration house, a clone house, a dupe house, whatever word you use. They create perfumes that are inspired by more expensive niche, or maybe even perfumes in the designer world that are discontinued. There have been some hits and then there have been some misses. This one is a miss for me because this is redundant. This smells like a fall version of Cloud by Ariana Grande, and I am over the Cloud DNA. I got this because it's caramel apple on a stick, and I love apple fragrances, and I have been on the hunt for those kind of at the fair kind of fragrances, and some of you guys gave me some options which I'm gonna check out. I got Circus of the Sun. I'm playing around with that one. I actually layered these 2 together. This one I was hopeful was going to be that Casablanca without the Peru balsam that I wanted, and this one does smell good, but it's giving me Cloud in the fall. So if you love the Cloud fragrance and you want something a little bit more caramel apple, this is the fragrance for you. So when I got this and I sprayed it, I was like, ooh, I really get that kind of brown sugary caramel scent, like cooking caramel over the stove, that kind of caramel. It's more on the cooked sugary side. There's a freshness, there's a slight apple. The apple in here is more blended, but then I get Cloud. So this was very disappointing. I just should have waited for more reviews, but it does smell like caramel apple on a stick, but think of cloud. All of these are disappointing because they're redundant, and this is what I'm talking about. Next, probably the one that upset me the most out of the three I'm going to talk about, and that is YSL's Libre Flowers and Flame. This to me smells like the original, but not as citrus. I get citrus from the original. It was a little too much for me in the beginning. I don't know if it's bergamot, mandarin, well, the orange blossom that comes off a little citrusy, but it also has mandarin orange. So this one to me smells very much like the original, just not as citrus heavy. And I would say the original is a little bit more edgy, which I prefer. But in the dry down, these smell very similar. This is going back to the original. The difference is in the opening, you get a creaminess that's coming from the coconut. It isn't in your face coconut to my nose or on my skin. It's just adding something kind of creamy. And then in the deep dry down, it smells like the original, but then there is almost something like the EDT, but without being like that tea note that the EDT version has. I assume that's coming from the palm leaves that are in here. It adds something kind of green. So whereas the EDT is a little bit more like green from a tea note, like maybe a green tea note, this one's more green on the palm leaf side, but it does give me something of the EDT. But because the EDT is lighter and fresher, to me this smells like the original and the deep dry down with just a touch of green that is reminiscent of the EDT. So I am going to talk about this more in a this or that video that is coming. I was waiting for my Valentino fragrance so that I could talk about these new coconut releases that just came out. But this one was super disappointing in my book. This is very, very similar. So this is one that I wish it would have just gotten the travel of. The collector in me wanted it, but to me this was a total cash grab. Like if they put a little bit more coconut, a little bit of yellow florals in there, I think they would have had something summery and different. But this to me is a lot of the same. And then we have Paco Rabanne's Fame Intense. Now this one, when I first sprayed it, the opening is beautiful. It's Paco Rabanne's Fame, but you get coconut and you don't get the mango. But then in the deep dry down, to me this does smell a lot like the original. So I'm gonna play with this one a little more and do a range review on this one. But I think I enjoy this one more in the opening. I think it's beautiful in the opening. I also think this was released in the wrong time, at least here in the States, because I do believe this one came out earlier in Europe and other places, but we just got this one here and we're heading into fall. So I think I'll enjoy this one more in summer. This one did just come in this week. I've been wearing it for the last 3 days. So I'm gonna play with this one more, but this one does, in the deep dry down, to me, it just smells a lot like what I already have. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some fragrance releases. The first one I'm gonna talk about is not a perfume, it's actually a body cream, but it's a body cream that I know so many people have been wanting for a long time now, and it looks like it's finally here. We have the Cheirosa 71 Shimmery Body Cream. And this is going to have notes of caramelized vanilla, sea salt, toasted macadamia nut, white chocolate, and tonka bean and coconut blossom. This is something I might pick up on sale during the holidays. I think this is going to be a really nice base to layer other fragrances on top of. I don't know that I would do this and 71 alone. That might be just a little too gourmand for me, a little too fall, but maybe adding like an apple or another fruity fragrance on top would just be perfect for fall. So something I probably will end up picking up eventually. And it looks like we have a few re-releases. So the first one, we have the Kayali Wedding Collection. I thought that they were only going to be re-releasing Silk Santal, but it looks like they're going to be releasing both Silk Santal and Velvet Santal, which is returning October 1st. Now, I will probably end up getting a backup bottle of Silk Santal. I don't use Velvet as much. I fell in love with Silk, and so did Dennis, so I'm almost half done with my bottle. I don't usually like to get backup bottles, but because this is limited edition and I really did enjoy this fragrance. So that is one that I'll probably be adding to bag. And then another re-release is the famous Jo Malone limited edition ginger biscuit. This one has ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, caramel, hazelnut, tonka bean, and vanilla. I have been intrigued by ginger biscuit. It's not something I would blind buy because I just don't feel like I would wear it enough, but it does sound good. All right, and then it looks like Glossier You, they're coming out with 2 new fragrances. They're coming out with You Doux and Reve, and it's dropping on October 3rd. And it looks like the fragrance notes on the Glossier You Doux, I don't know if it's Doux or Doux. This is supposed to be a soft and serene woody fragrance, and this has notes of sweet violet, Palo Santo, frankincense, myrrh, ambrette, and ambrox. And then Glossier You Reve is supposed to be a lush, dreamy gourmand, and this has notes of a buttercream, plum butter, toasted almond, iris, sandalwood, ambrox, and ambrette. I never picked up Glossier You because it got compared to so many other fragrances. It's compared to Julia Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, Clean Reserve's Radiant Nectar, Ariana Grande's God Is a Woman, and I would see those comparisons, and I just felt like I had something similar to it in my collection. I would love it if they came out like during the holidays, like maybe a trio. And Glossier You seems like a fragrance I actually would enjoy, but again, I feel like I have it in my collection. Just seeing the reviews of it, seeing the note breakdown, and then the comparisons, just feel like I have that fragrance already and I would be smelling it again. So I wonder what these smell like. Are they going to be like true flankers or have their own thing going? Again, very interested to try them out. I know Glossier You is a very popular fragrance, but nothing I'll be blind buying. All right, and then it looks like Replica is coming out with the Fantasies collection, which is actually available now. There's 3 fragrances in this lineup: Soul of the Forest, Dancing on the Moon, and Flying. I mean, the bottles look kind of cool. Soul of the Forest is supposed to evoke a scent that's surreal, like a mystical wood. So this has top notes of pimiento berries, black currant buds, and a moss accord. Middle notes of labdanum, maple sap accord, and balsam fir, and then base notes of Indonesian patchouli and Atlas cedarwood oil. This doesn't sound like my kind of fragrance, a woody fragrance that maybe my sister would enjoy. And then Dancing on the Moon is supposed to be like a surrender to a hypnotic dance on the moon's surface. This has top notes of aldehyde, moonflower, middle notes of iris accord, sambac jasmine, and frangipani tree, and then base notes of cashmere, an accord of ambergris and musk. And then last we have Flying, and this is supposed to evoke the freedom of flying beyond the clouds. So this has notes of bergamot essence, petite grain essence, orange blossom, and flower absolute, and the middle notes of almond flower, bigorade, Ylang extra essence, and neroli essence. Again, if they came out with a trio, I might try it, because I feel like this would be a line my sister would like, because these are more her kind of fragrances, more woody, more earthy. But I don't know that I would like any of these, but I'm always interested to just try. I need to start getting better about just getting the 2 ml samples. I wish more places had them. I like that commodity. They do, I think they're a little bit bigger, but they do a lot of their fragrances and samples, because although I have been dipping more into travels, they're still a little bit on the pricey side when you add them up. And then there are times when I don't enjoy the fragrance. I didn't enjoy the Flower Bomb Tiger Lily. There's some recent ones that I'm going to be talking about that I didn't really enjoy either. So I wish they had more 2 ml samples so that you could try them out first. But yeah, guys, that is my perfume talk. Just a little chatty, talking about how things are going. If you guys have any video ideas, please let me know in the comments below. I'm just getting a little tired of filming the same videos that everyone else is filming. But that will do it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.